Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crack Tech New Horizons. This is Sam Sirius. So, I'm just making videos whenever I can, despite me being a little busy here and there. So, rather than focus on doing any specific projects of mine, I just want to give y'all a update to what's coming together in this world so far. So, I'm going to start with a big highlight right now. So, I was able to assemble most of the plat line. I've moved platinum line I start at this side here near the machine walls to a different area so that way I can have one area specifically dedicated for platinum production. It's a bit stalled out right now due to a few resource bottlenecks, mostly having problems with the osmium, which you get as byproduct from iridium processing. I was more wanting to get iridium for a few things, which I'll get onto in a sec. But yep, I got the platinum being processed here. Then this here is the palladium line, which I've been meaning to finish up. Handle processing. This is producing the what is it, potassium sulfite? Oh, potassium disulfide, necessary for iridium processing, and to handle the byproducts of that to produce rudium. I believe it's what the element is. The only two metals to work on is osmium and palladium. Osmium requires a distillation tower at IV power, and I don't want to be setting that up quite yet, so I'm taking a break from setting this up, but at least I got plenty of iridium to get things going. I should have about 200 iridium ingots, maybe 300. Yeah, about 275. So I took the time to process all the iridium to make various ender chests and ender tanks. Big upgrade for a system. I was able to have both of my miners at two places with the ender chest and the ender tanks. The ender tanks I'm using to, with the miners, I'm using to supply drilling fluid, which gets automatically output through this system here. Okay, that tank is empty. That's going to be empty soon, so I'm going to tell it to all the output fluids again. There we go. Now y'all can see. Wait, what? Oh, because of draconic evolution. So now I got production for these things going again. Oh, is it only these cells? Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm doing the tank trick. That's why I like multi-block machines over single-block machines, because it's less shenanigans with cells. So anyways, back to the target I'm wanting to focus on. So the super tank is going to get stocked up with drilling fluid, which then gets routed to both drilling plants through the ender tanks there that are outputting it. I'm not done with the drilling fluids yet. Eventually, I'm going to want to have a system that would draw out high octane gas to power the EV gas generators over there to the EV turbo generators to power the miners with. But doing that should allow me to cater to those multi-block mining rigs without having to resupply drilling fluid excessively, which was getting very annoying for me. And the inner chest helps a lot because now I can have all their ores being instantaneously transported interdimensionally into the ore processing at a trickle at a time. Doing that actually saves me trouble of causing work stoppage due to storage being full for what I cashed up. When they just get immediately processed little by little. So doing that has paid off quite a bit for a moment. The ender tanks, I was also motivated to make that because of another reason. I was dealing with a chlorine shortage. Adam, I'm at a point now where I'm demanding a lot of chlorine, and the salt veins of the overworld are just simply not sufficient to how I want to passively produce everything now. Like, a large salt vein, even being tripled by the crushed ore variants by the multi-block miners, are... I pretty much blow through them extremely... Their harvested resources extremely fast now. Which is not enough for me, because considering I want to be able to leave things alone and process on their own accord. Luckily, I was able to discover something else, though. Salt water. I discovered that salt water can be pumped from the moon. So from 0 to like 200. I found a vein that was right around 200 up there, doing some prospecting up in the moon recently, and I was able to set up a multi-block pump up there. That's also being supplied with hog, which I'm glad to come up there periodically check on it. But if things go right, I should be able to set up again enter tanks for high octane gas supply up there, so this way I don't have to go up there for occasional fuel resupplies. Only time I'd be going up there is either when the veins run out, or B, maintenance issues applies causes a saltwater shortage that affects chlorine supply. Until I can find a infinite method of generating salt water, this is how it's going to have to be for now. It looks like Mars is a viable option too as well. So later on down the planet, I can get salt water from pumps there. I bet Mars would be offering heck of a throughput, considering that it's, oh, not only that, but it's actually not as rare up there versus the moon, which is almost at a 1 out of 5 chance for prospecting run. It's mostly helium up there when it comes to pumping fluid in the moon. The overworld is pretty much natural gas and oil. I don't know what the spiel with Mars is. I'll worry about that later at some point. Anyhow, right time pretty much solving a lot of my mining goods solution problem now. Now, of course, I'm now having a problem with dealing with all the processed ore, so eventually I'm going to want to redo the ore processing at some point. Mostly to storage, then how to consume the materials. I'm, part of the reason why I've been playing GTNH for so long at EV for a few years, besides me having to redirect my attention, it's also an extremely conservative with my resources. Maybe too conservative. But regardless, I'm at I'm at least progressing. So ore processing, platinum line I want to finish up. Once I get the platinum line finished up, I can then start focusing more towards the rest of the EV quests in order to start making components to go to the moon, not to the moon, to Mars, and then progress to Ivy tier. In the future, just looking at this, I have done some research and I've seen some pretty clever designs of nuclear reactors that allows an immense amount of power to generate. Um, I have seen some videos from somebody who managed to make a effective vacuum nuke design. I would like to be able to take up that opportunity at some point to make a vacuum nuke to sustain myself. This way I'm not pulling away from hog and benzene as much. Hog is a very good fuel source, but I don't want to be overdrawing it for a moment. But then again, I might see myself biting a bullet to expand hog infrastructure at some point, which is going to mean that I'm going to have to add to my petrochem processing. On the other hand, oil can be generated from logs. I can probably redirect some of that oil to make even more, some of that those logs for more oil, so I can possibly expand the bonsai tree farms there in the future, maybe. Time will tell. Also, too, I've increased the dependency on nitrobenzene now. A little bit more machines, pretty much everything except for the nitrogen compression system is dependent on benzene. Wait a second, maintenance issues. I do apologize for the frame drop. Updates occurred that kind of jumbled some things up, so I'm having to fix some matters. Speaking of which, how are the turbines? 25%. I'm going to have to put in some new turbines soon. I got plenty of tung steel, so I'm thinking about swapping out the vibrant alloy turbines with shadow metal. I think shadow metal gives better rates. Material this is. I can't see what the material this is. Oh, that's I'm going to have to dig around, but I think shadow metal gives better efficiency ratios versus vibrant alloy, like what I'm currently using. But yeah, I can use that and adjust the benzene ratios accordingly to maximize the amount of power per liter of benzene. One thing I like about those multi-block turbines is that I'm actually able to produce more power with less liters of benzene overall. So yeah, nitrobenzene is now being pumped to the AE system and a whole bunch of other things. And I've done enough to where the nitrobenzene is barely at a net gain. Barely. If I pump this into the nitrogen centrifuge, nitrogen compression system and all that, it's going to start putting me at a net loss, even with me being able to produce the resources at a 1-1 scale with a IV powered LCR. Man, I keep stumbling across maintenance issues on this thing, and now it's not saving much. What's going on here? Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I'm scrolling myself away. Anyhow, I've also, in the meantime, expanded on thermic energistics. I finally got thermic energistics going to where I can digitalize Essentia storage and centipedes and whatnot. So because of that, I'm able to make a bunch of Essentia providers that will automatically supply the alchemical construct at that needed basis. And any excessive Essentia that needs to go back can just float back in, just allow more room for other Essentia. So this has actually allowed me to handle things more cleanly now. All I gotta do is just specify the what I'm wanting to put in, have the raw material supplied, and the Essentia provider will automatically do things based on what the alchemical construct requires. On top of that, I'm pretty much having my instrumenta being stored in there. Now, I did make myself a node that has all the primal aspects in it. This node also contained a few other compound aspects too as well, but for now, this works. I didn't exactly use a very efficient method with this, like how I made this node bunch of nodes all together doing a whole spree of node bullying. It's not the most efficient method, but it worked to get what I wanted finally. and I'm just having all that sent to V's being traveled through a bunch of V relays. Some of the V relays are attached to a V relay interface. What's nice about that is that if you pair a V relay interface with a memory card to a arcane crafting terminal, centivies will actually be supplied directly into the wands that you have in there, so that way you can have discount craftings with the wands on top like that without having to put the wands manually in a crafting arcane crafting table that is done with the V charging relays. I did take the time to expand upon the wands in Thaumcraft. With GTNH, it's very difficult to try to produce a lot of wands on your own to create a better tier wands. I was having trouble with this until a buddy online just told me that I could just simply augment the wands. Man, oh man, augmentation really paid off. Yeah, you gotta supply all the essentia whatnot through for the fusion altar. Speaking of which, I'll get to that show what's going on. But yeah, the staff I'm holding is has been augmented. The augmentation, you basically supply all the recipes and whatnot necessary for the infusion altar and put all the final piece for the template for the one augmentation. And you'll put the one in there as well. No. You put the one you want to augment in here and all the materials necessary for the augmentation recipe. The two augments I'm currently using is V channeling, which I'm mostly using with the Silverwood staffs, and then you got the V buffer, which expands your wand capacity by, gosh, I think 25%. Let me look up what it definitely expands wand capacity. The fix because you need to fix this one, but all the ones I've been using are the void aspected wands. I am currently using with the scepters. I'm using the charge buffers and the V channels, and it's boosted it from 100 to 140. Where's it? Where's it? 120. Well, point is, it gave a significant boost in its capacity. On top of the V discount, I'm able to have more V and have less V be used at a time per craft these wands. That allowed me to create wands using void metal. My go-to metal for these wands now is, for these wands and scepters now, is void metal, since void metal offers a good V discount. And with the augmentations, I can afford this a lot more easily. That in combination with my armor, I'm capable of making materials at a 40% V cost. So 60% discount is possible with this, and that allowed me to make a bunch of silverwood staffs that are augmented with V channels. I didn't feel a need to do V buffer since the staffs store a lot of energy already, and I could just simply have these staffs whenever they need to be charging on the pedestal or be charged up through my amulet here. The amulet will automatically charge within my inventory slot as long as I'm near a V relay. So as long as I'm within like, gosh, 8 blocks of these, I believe it's the number. I think it's 8 blocks. I would recommend looking at the thermometer at your what's the name of that book? Thaumonomicon. To see what the exact numbers are. But as long as I'm near these, I'm able to passively have these charge up as well as what I'm having in my inventory. or hotbar hand. And I like using these wands when it comes to like doing, give me a second, when it comes to like warding or maintenance. I'm having one superwood staff handling equal trade and warding, and another one dedicated for resolving maintenance. This way it saves me materials, tool durability, as well as soldering iron charge. That's how I'm bypassing the need of having a maintenance box full of materials I need to resupply every now and then. What's nice is that with these wands having discounts too as well, I can just right-click things more instead of having to periodically recharge a soldering iron upon multiple maintenance issues. Multi-blocks can be a bit overwhelming with their maintenance issues. Speaking of maintenance, obviously you've seen me put down the ethereal glass, but I also took the liberty and did a whole lot of base building. The base not only has proper floors in between now. Ooh, oh, okay, that's normal. But it now also has a proper top to it. Eventually, I can see myself diversifying the tops of these areas a little bit with different blocks to break out the structure being overly uniform. But it's at least a big step forward to the primary shape of the building. Thanks to the Unbreakable Builder's Wand, I took the time to use the activation ritual with extra utilities with an enchanting table, and then I conducted a stabilization ritual in the end. There's definitely the stabilization ritual definitely took some time to handle, for I had to supply a lot of raw materials to all the chests before sacrificing an iron golem and a beacon. But that is nothing compared to the other danger with that ritual. You have to, in the end, kill 100 mobs that randomly spawn. It overrides the normal mob spawn in the end, to where all hostile mobs will spawn. I had to go to peaceful mode on that several times due to a few game-breaking matters that really was not progressible. And it's not necessarily gear problems I was having. It's more like a unfair advantage from a game mechanic standpoint. I'm specifically talking about the lightning blazes. Blazes are always infernal. Those lightning blazes will come with lightning strikes. The problem is that I was having multiple lightning strikes strike me down a few times a second, yeeting me up way up in the air. Three blazes appeared. I couldn't strike them because they're past their rendering distance for me to see them, but they can definitely see me still. They kept on striking me up all the way to like 9,000 blocks in the air. I was like, yeah, I can't do anything about this. I can't even teleport down with the Ender, even with the glider off of my chest slot. I couldn't go down. It gotten to a point where it's like my armor piece with last stand can only do this for so long before it breaks. So I wound up having to go peaceful mode to stop that, and I dug a series of tunnels in the main end island that had a few murder holes to allow some mobs to fall in through for me to deal with, and then Endermans to trickle in. Those lightning blazes can also teleport around too as well, so occasionally those guys will pop up to do their lightning strikes. Thankfully, with me being protected by the ceiling of the tunnels I made, I'm able to deal with them without being unfairly sent up to the air. That there is something I'm considering to be a game-breaking bug when it comes to a to the stability ritual. but I stabilized a division sigil. And I'm able to produce Mobius stable ingots now. As long as I got enough diamonds for it. I can see myself adding to my tools and stuff in the future with that. See if I can make unbreakable tools that way. Or I can use that for like farms and stuff too as well. Should I have to use farms that require such utilities. Call me crazy if you like, but I really don't need it. The healing axe I still haven't bothered to craft. As powerful as the healing axe is, it only supplies health and hunger very slowly. So I'd much rather have my health and hunger deplete a little bit and just restock that way. The only time I can see myself using healing axe is strictly for HP, not for hunger. Excuse me. I've on top of progression towards Stormcraft, I did make myself a few diamond spikes. One of them I've enchanted from extra utilities. I got Sharpness 5, Looting 3, Reaper 5, Elder Wisdom 5, and Wrath 5. That allows you to do about 20 points of damage. I've created a small farm out of this. And I've been tacitly gathering ender pearls off it too as well. I was able to make use of the arcane relocators, which acts a lot like the arcane levitators, except you're able to use it to push entities horizontally. I wonder what source of lag is coming from my base. I'm gonna have to see what Opus says at some point. But yeah, that's my little Enderman farm. Second, Thaumcraft Warp is coming at me at a obnoxious timing. I have to make myself a soul brazier at some point. Cursed earth here. But yeah, all I gotta do is just plop down this spike here. And with the cursed earth, the spawn rates are relatively rapid before the spawning range. Get pushed by the relocators, strike me with a diamond spike. I get Ender Creeper. That sizzling effect from the Ender Creeper is why I warded this area quite a bit. Yeah, they all get pushed into here and die out here. That's how I can get a lot of my So AFK here. This trap door here, I'll just close that up when I plan on AFKing because, well, Thaumcraft Warp is my worst nightmare when it comes to AFKing. Like, I actually died because of a Thaumcraft Warp in that chamber. That's why I placed down that trap door. There's a effect. A strange wind has picked up, causing me to, like, jump around a little bit. And it was enough to just yeet me over that chamber in there to have me fall into void. I know that's how I felt because I was actually having my headphones on at the time while the AFK was going on to listen for anything unusual. Fortunately, couldn't save myself on that instance. yeah, back to the infusion altar. I don't need jars for this anymore. Thanks to Atomic Energistics, the infusion provider will accept the jars, and it will supply all of its essentia directly from the essentia storage into the runic matrix for the infusion recipes. So I just check to make sure I have. I really need to fix this. I just check to make sure I have all the essentia stored in here that I need and make the magic happen. There's also another big change that I did, as well as a change to my approach for managing my ME network. So originally, I was thinking about having two separate lines for every fluid network, for separately for fluid and item network. A third line for Senshi network should I call for it, but I've decided that that is extremely time consuming to make all the materials and to route things 3 times over while trying to finesse with the space. So because of that, I decided to treat all of these networks as a subnet that's branching off of the main net. So my carrier net I've turned into a main net now. So I'm having P2P pretty much going into these ME controllers. This way they're able to read off of the network here. And these P2Ps are being branched off are branches of a new carrier net that I've created. The carrier net's going to be small since it's only in charge of routing most of the channels all over the place. So I don't need this extremely huge right now. But it allows me to have all the channel information from the mainnet to be routed all over the place using the least amount of resources as possible. And with me consolidating all the three subnets to be branching off the mainnet, I can read all three subnets at once to be able to connect all three subnets as needed under one line. Not just talk about one line from the carrier net, there's one line from the main net from what the P2Bs can transfer over. So I've been getting away with doing that for a little bit to make the magic happen here for applied energistics. And it saves me the trouble of triple rooting everything, taking extra time to make materials, and it helps my sanity on trying to identify what lines for what too as well. Even though color coding is a good solution to that, I'm not ready to do anything like that yet. More changes may come to the ME network in the future, depending on what's going on. I am wanting to dedicate every production line into their own separate subnets at some point. I just got to figure out how to set it up in a way to where I'm not overdrawing from the main net and causing overproduction of certain materials. I addressed that concern because I have created a subnet that has made life for circuit crafting so much easier for me. So I've semi-automated circuit production. All of these is necessary to make all the components to make LV, MV, HV, EV, and IV circuits. So this is my basics to produce all the circuits, workstations, and IV mainframes. All I gotta do is grab all the materials by hand from the mainnet and supply them into the terminals, and they'll be stored within their own little ME drives and stuff. And these are just 1Ks. I don't need anything to be like 4K like I'm doing with the mainnet here. And having a few fluid and stuff in there too as well, such as sulfuric acid and soldering alloy and a few other things too as well to make the circuit components. I did make a big change to the clean room. I've moved it. Not only did I move it, but I also upgraded it. It's bigger, and I've designed it to be able to handle more machines. I created three more additional processing lines at IV tier. Not IV tier, EV tier. I've misspoken. This way I'm producing circuit components considerably more rapidly. And this will help produce processors, which is LV circuits. This here will produce all the MV good circuits, HV circuits, and this will produce all the workstations, though I have been using this one specifically to produce mainframes, mostly for the ender chests and ender tanks. I'm going to have to, I've got enough of those two items to get things going at a more less manual intensive ways. And these will automatically output their materials going down, which directly goes to the mainnet. The subnet for auto-crafting things does not read the mainnet, therefore it prevents any overdrawing on certain materials until I can figure out how to establish a better relationship between the subnets and mainnets in terms of managing how much resources get produced. But yeah, I plan on having this room be filled with a lot of EV circuitry making components until I can find a better substitute, which I think there is a multi-block that essentially is that. But yeah, the clean room is supplied 1 amp of HV power to keep itself serviceable. But to power all these EV machines, and I admit this is very ridiculous for me to do, but it works. I'm basically converting 48 HV amps with with a bunch of turbo combustion generators into 16 EV amps worth of power in here. I do admit to the fact that I am going overkill with this many turbo combustion generators, but at this point I did not want to spend more titanium making large combustion generators. I ain't got enough titanium last time I checked. Speaking of which, I should probably check. Okay, so I have increased in titanium supply. But I had like almost 6,000 titanium ingots, and to make all these combustion generators for the EBFs, the large gas turbines, for the centrifuges, for the nitrogen production system, and the rest of the LCEs for the ore processing, it ate up all my titanium for that. So, because of that, I'm very hesitant to make another batch of titanium power equipment until I'm able to produce titanium a lot faster. Speaking of titanium hot ingots, stuff like that, I was able to figure something out, and I did this too as well with ore processing. In the last episode, I was asking y'all for help for how to go about having all the ingots to go in at with minimal effort with specifying filters. And turns out it was possible. A bit pricey for me right now, considering it requires IV materials to make it, but or dictionary filter card. I had to learn and understand how the or dictionary system works. So I was able to do my research, ask the right questions to certain people, and I was able to figure things out. So hot ingots. It turns out that I can just simply type in ingot hot with an asterisk to be a wildcard for the rest of the stuff here, to then specify that every hot ingot here goes through a vacuum freezer. And I'm able to do that so that way one export bus can do everything for me. And I did something similar to as well with the 4K ME storage cells. I'm combining each of these storage cells with the same ore dictionary card to store their crushed ore, purified crushed ore, the dust and stuff whatnot into their local storage, as well as a sticky card to have these be priority storage. That's how I've been doing it with ore processing here right now. So things are coming together. I need to process all my ilmenite though. I have about 7K worth of rutile dust right now. And that's before handling bauxite. I do want to expand infrastructure for the process bauxite. Just so I get the most out of it that way. So, got a lot of things being done. So obviously in the future I want to work on expanding the plat line to finish that up so that we can resolve the bottlenecks, which I'm going to have to make some large combustion generators to IV power a distillation tower for osmium. That's what I'll make the rest of the LCRs for palladium. But I'm also thinking about replacing. I'm using a little bit of single block structures to work the magic syrup, but I'm using the HV sifting machines, which is a big bottleneck for processing all of the platinum salts and stuff, as well as the palladium salts. These machines aren't going as fast as that, and on what bottleneck situations are existing, I'm having a feeling that this is bottlenecked now. No, I still got clean room here, clean room there. Is this EBF voiding stuff? No, it's not voiding anything. Good, 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 good. So I need to deal with the palladium and osmium bottleneck. I just need to have them at least be transmitted at their item form, so that way I can just store them in mass in my ME item storage system. So this way I can just keep producing the more desirable metals until I can produce the stuff to fully process out the other rare metals that the platinum line makes. Obviously, I got to expand off of the ore infrastructure to the ore processing infrastructure too as well. And I got to think about heading to Mars at some point for the sake of progressing in the tiers and stuff like that. I have accidentally did a tungsteel skip, so technically speaking, I'm able to proceed through the Ivy quest lines because of that. But I'd like to be able to go to Mars and stuff like that. I should be already more suited to go to Mars, especially considering that I've enchanted my tanks with Unbreaking 3 to make them last considerably longer. And considerably longer, it did. Even me carrying like 6 LOX tanks with me, I was able to make do with this. So that already paid off very well. As a mild side note, I did replace some of my armor pieces. I replaced my leggings that had a last stand with. Okay, where is it? Oh, there it is. Dark leggings with last stand, protection 4, Unbreaking 3, whatnot, as well as Empowered 3. That on top of higher difficult durability, excuse me, and bigger damage mitigation. I was able to, oh, I can make myself a little faster with this. Hmm. This, and I'm even thinking about making void boots of the traveler too as well, because I know I can enchant those. But we'll have to see what speed bonuses apply, because I seen some things that suggest the void boots don't carry the speed bonuses to flight over compared to what anti-suit leggings do. But if I can slap down haste on boots like that, they'll make me even more faster to navigate around with. Just nerf down the speed bonuses to the omnidirectional travel. This way I'm not side strafing 5 blocks and just tap the button. But yeah, ore processing, Mars, flatline, and back nukes are on top of IV progression are the top 5 things too as well. As well as the ME system. I still need to work on the ME system, figure out how to balance things out with the ME networks. But overall, I've definitely made a whole lot of progress. Oh, I may have mentioned the single block sifters, but I do want to make the multi-block version to speed things up since that structure has parallel processing. I can definitely do that now considering the window part the ore processing itself is proving itself very well. I may change how ores is applied for ore processing too as well. This one might have to heavily rely on on the input stocking buses. Anyhow, y'all, I can in the future see what else is more going on. I'll show y'all more on the future. Anyhow, y'all, thanks for sticking around, and I wish y'all well. Have a fantastic day.